As the stage progressed, we started doing a little worse, and so the pressure goes down when you're like kind of the underdog. So it's actually more enjoyable to play, I feel like, when you're the underdog, because there's no pressure.
All right, first of all, Coolmatt, thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations on your win over Seoul today. So with that win over Seoul today, a lot of people are wondering, is this the Outlaws coming back? Are you guys going to be coming back strong in Stage 3, and should we expect to see you in the finals next time?
I can definitely tell you that we're coming back strong in Stage 3. This stage for us was like our team is kind of one that thrives in like slower scenarios where we control the fight really well, and dive is like, that tends to be really chaotic where you have like really small windows to actually be successful. And so far, I think our biggest weakness is actually capitalizing on those windows. But throughout the stage, like, we started off very weak. That's not a secret. But we actually we bunkered down, tried to like readjust our, like, drastically overhaul our play style. And as the stage progressed, like, you saw our results just improved and improved and improved. And finally, we took some like big wins. No one really expected us to beat Seoul. Like, we knew we could do it, right? We knew that we were getting better. So like, definitely look out for us in Stage 3.
So on a much lighter note, people have been asking to get to know you guys a little bit more. First of all, favorite movie. Second of all, favorite musical artist. And third, if you have one, favorite anime.
Favorite movie, Blue Velvet. Favorite musical artist.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, it is. There's so many. Favorite musical artist, probably the Beatles. And favorite anime is Cowboy Bebop.
Good choice. Mine as well. To start off, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your feelings being part of Outlaws. So Outlaws is kind of one of the most high-profile Western teams that's in the league. So do you feel any added pressure to represent more than just your home city or region in the league? Do you feel kind of the weight of the West on you in general?
Yeah, I think that the team, I think the narrative for our team in Stage 1 was especially that we are the Western team, you know, like, we have all Western players. We have Korean coaches, obviously, and they're an integral part of the team, but our players themselves are all Western players. And so there's definitely this idea that, like, we are like the great Western hope, right? And so there's a lot of fans that like us because of that, and there's definitely a lot of weight on our shoulders. And so far, we've been able to live up to their expectations in Stage 1 and kind of fall short in Stage 2, but I know that we're going to get better.
How do those feelings compare to when you played on Team USA?
Team USA was, like, honestly comparable. Like, the environment was pretty comparable. We were also, like, you know, the environment was pretty comparable for us. There was a lot of fans that were looking for, like, a Western team to follow, and we have pretty, like, personable players and a lot of, like, strong personalities, and so a lot of fans liked us because of that. I think that one thing that really was nice about Team USA and going into Outlaws, it's a lot of, like, similar players, and so the environment in Team USA was, like, it was so much fun. It was my best team that I was ever on up until now, in terms of, like, how much fun we have with each other. Like, our chemistry out of game is so good that I feel like we enjoy playing with each other so much because of that it translates to some success in game.
So yeah, tell me a little bit more about that synergy and how it feeds into your trust and your synergy in game.
You know, I feel like when you enjoy what you're doing, when you enjoy playing, you're gonna play better. And a big part of that is, you know, who you're playing with. If you're playing with, like, your friends, then you're playing a game with your friends and you're having fun the whole time. You're, like, laughing, and, you know, everything just kind of works when you're having fun. Like, it's kind of weird to say, but when we're on stage and everyone's smiling and, like, cheering, then the morale goes up, everyone's playing better, and since we're all such friends, like, we want to support each other, like, we want to build each other up. Within our team, there's, like, very limited ego. Like, we kind of understand that we're all tools to be used by our coaches to succeed, and so we all want to build each other up. Whether that means, like, not playing, not getting play time, it doesn't really matter for us. It's all about the team, you know.
So a little bit more on the topic of pressure. This stage saw a lot of changes hit the support and DPS characters that your team excelled on last stage. As a role that was affected the least by changes, was there any added pressure on you to be an anchor in the team and help hold everybody together?
I believe that my role and Muma's role were altered heavily by the changes, actually. Going into Stage 2, our tanks were kind of playing our Stage 1 play style, which does not function in this patch, and so we had to make drastic changes to our play. The pressure for us going into Stage 2 was pretty high. Expectations were really high. Everyone thought we would do really well. We started off the stage actually really well, like 2-0, but even when we won that, I felt like we didn't deserve it. I felt like we kind of just made it by the skin of our teeth, and we didn't really know why we won. and it was kind of clear after that we didn't know what we were doing. As the stage progressed, we started doing a little worse, and so the pressure goes down when you're like kind of the underdog. So it's actually more enjoyable to play, I feel like, when you're the underdog, because there's no pressure.
So in splitting kind of that tank role with Muma, do you guys work more closely together when kind of prepping for these changes, or is it very much a collective team experience?
It's definitely a collective team experience. We have coaches that do individual training. We have sub players for our other roles, and they also provide input. How me and Muma play together is really much about we kind of make a lot of individual stuff happen that makes the team function, and I think that would be our play style. It's kind of like hard to explain. It's a lot of individual stuff, but it makes space for the team, or it's like what the team needs. You won't see us like as much like diving together as a lot of other tanks, and I feel like that's the way to play. I feel like we kind of nailed down how to play exactly our roles in this stage, and I think that's what our synergy is right now.
Nice. So speaking of meta changes, I know it's a little far off for the Overwatch League competitive, but the introduction of Brigitte has everybody scratching their heads as to how she'll fit into the meta, both competitively and casually. And the common consensus is that if anybody's going to debut it in the league, it would be Raucus with his really wide champion pool. So tell me, is that an idea that you guys have been playing around with? Has he and the rest of the team, thought about it, or even casually played around with that at all?
Well, we've thought a bit about it. I kind of think that I would be good at it, actually. It seems like the playstyle is a little bit similar to D.Va, where it's a lot of cooldown management, short cooldowns, and you have to balance dealing damage and helping your team. And honestly, I would like to play it. It's something we could explore, like if D.Va's out of the meta, or if I just really excel at it.
So I spoke to Muma yesterday, and you kind of mentioned or touched on this earlier. He mentioned that you guys have been feeling a lot more free to use your subs and allow players to specialize a bit more during this stage. How has that affected your prep and your practice time throughout the stage?
I think in stage 2 we may have been subbing too much early on, honestly, and the right way to use it is to specialize, like you said. The problem with like subbing often is that you have to really practice properly with each player, because otherwise, like let's say you have one player that plays Tracer on one map, another player that plays Tracer on another map. They both have a different style, and just that different style creates an entirely different dynamic for the entire team. So this guy might be really good at dueling Tracers. That means there's going to be less space. There's going to be more space for us to avoid their Tracer. Maybe we have another one that's really good at like dealing with their backline. So we started off kind of like subbing a lot, but now we're kind of understanding that we want to keep that consistent like team dynamic throughout.
So of all the new acquisitions, we've seen a lot of them across the Overwatch League and a bunch of different teams. Who are you most excited or nervous about playing against in stage 3?
Do you know if Flower can play in stage 3?
When is his birthday?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. April, right? I want to say it's April. Don't quote me on that, but
I'm excited to play against Sinatra. Like, he's a former teammate, and I really like playing against him. He has a very aggressive play style, and I'd like to be on a team with him again. Honestly, he's a great guy.
So, what are some of your goals and predictions for stage 3, knowing what you know now?
Stage 3 for us, we're going to take what we learned towards the end of stage 2. We're going to continue to build up our dive and like create these decisive plays, and we're going to look to like capitalizing on these enemy mistakes. That's been our weakness. Our weakness is really just those really reactive plays that require multiple people to be on the same page at the same time, because you have a very small window to actually like succeed on a dive. And so we're getting better at it. I think as the season goes on, we're going to get even better. Maybe the meta will change a lot, and I feel like if the meta shifts away from dive, it's going to suit us really, really strongly.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about your stream for a moment. Many pros are approached constantly for tips, tricks, advice. What is that like for you, especially without a stream presence? And how do you handle it? And like, what's the kind of advice that you get?
Yeah, we get a lot of questions in Discord and Twitter and on our streams about like any tips we can give, and it's kind of like a really general question, because how else do you answer that? It's like you practice more. For me, I kind of just like I kind of like try to learn more about the person, and if I can help them with something more specific, like a certain aspect of their play, like their positioning and stuff like that. It's kind of like a difficult answer to give, because there's so many different factors that goes into like why they're asking the question. I don't know what like what characters like to play, like what their play style is, or like what like skill rating they are. So it's like I try to learn a little bit more about them and then give them any specialized advice that I can.
What's your like biggest pet peeve when you play casually or on ladder without your team?
Biggest pet peeve is definitely people that are just like mega negative and give up. Like I hate when people give up or play like to like troll stuff and just try to grief your game. That's really like a major deterrent to your enjoyment when it happens. You can have like a ton of good games and you get like 2 or 3 in a row where people are just like beyond rude and like abusive and they just like they throw. That's my biggest pet peeve by far.
You know, playing at your level, I'm sure you get recognized by the pool of players all the time when you're playing casually. So what's been your favorite kind of engagement or a moment of recognition in game?
I like when people say, please kill Coolmatt.
That's pretty good. To flip it over to live though, what's been your favorite live fan experience?
The most like rewarding fan experience for me so far has been there was a young kid. His name is Sean, and he has he's pretty sick, and he is a fan of our team. So we got him a jersey. We signed all this stuff for him. We sent him some like notes to help him feel better, and he was really into it. Like he really enjoyed it. And I think that was really important to us that we were able to help him feel better.
Was he able to send messages?
Yeah, he was sort of some pictures on Twitter. It was really nice.
That's awesome. So just in closing, man, do you have anything else you'd like to say to the Outlaws fans that have stuck with you 2 stages now, or just the Overwatch community at large?
Oh, thanks everybody for sticking around so far. I'm sorry that we kind of let you down a little bit during stage 2. I hope that we ended it strong for you guys, and I know for a fact that we're going to be even better in stage 3.
Awesome, cool, Matt. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Check out our website at AkshonEsports.com to stay up to date on the latest matches, highlights, and more. From scores, match history, and specific game info, we've got you covered for all things Overwatch esports. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out our channel for more action-packed content. Also, like and share this video, and click the subscribe button to join our notification squad. Thanks for watching.